All right, let's talk about something that, well, it touches every single one of us, whether we're at the office or sitting at our own kitchen table. We're going to reframe conflict, and I don't mean just putting a positive spin on it. I mean truly seeing it not as something to fear, but as a real chance to connect and understand each other on a whole new level.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? That knot in your stomach on a Monday morning when you're thinking about that one tough meeting. Or, that sudden heavy silence that just drops over the dinner table when someone brings up that topic. The second we hear the word conflict, our brains just scream danger, tension, crisis, avoid at all costs. But what if that feeling is wrong? What if the very thing we're so afraid of isn't actually the enemy we've made it out to be?
So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll tackle that idea that conflict is bad. Then, we'll get into what it really is. After that, we'll look at a whole new way to approach it. And finally, we'll map out a path forward. Sound good? Let's go.
Okay, first things first. We have got to challenge the biggest myth out there, this deep-seated belief that conflict is just plain bad. It's a really common way to feel, but it's what's holding us back.
And this really shows the huge shift in thinking we're talking about. We're so used to seeing conflict as a crisis, something to be avoided. But what if we started seeing it as a sign of life? Yeah, a sign that people in a relationship are still plugged in, they're still talking, and they still care enough to actually disagree about something.
This quote really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? It's not some kind of disaster. It's not a personal failure. It's just a fundamental part of being human and being connected to other humans. So the real question isn't if it's going to happen, but how we're going to navigate it when it does.
I love this analogy. Think about it. When you see a roadwork sign, do you panic? No, it's not a bad thing, right? It's just a signal that some important maintenance is going on, and it's telling you to slow down, pay a little more attention. Conflict is exactly like that. It's a sign that a relationship is getting some necessary work done, and if we handle that work with care, guess what? The relationship, ends up being even stronger than it was before.
All right, so if conflict isn't just mad, if it's more like road work, then what is it really? I mean, to do that work well, you got to know what you're dealing with. Let's dig into how the experts see it, and I promise you'll see how it all connects right back to our own lives.
When you really boil down all the academic stuff, it comes down to 3 key ingredients. You need a bond, it's usually sparked by a clash of needs, and it's almost always a dynamic, ongoing process. Let's unpack each of those.
Okay, so Folger's definition brings up something huge. Conflict can only exist because people are connected. Think about it. You and your partner are trying to plan a vacation. One of you wants to just lie on a beach, the other wants to go sightseeing. That tension, that little conflict, it's only there because you have a bond and you want to spend that vacation together. If you didn't care about being together, there'd be no conflict at all. See? No bond, no conflict.
Now, this next one gets right to the source of the friction. So often, it's not about our personalities clashing, it's about our fundamental needs not lining up. The perfect example? The thermostat war at the office. It's a classic for a reason. One person is freezing, that's a physical need for warmth. The person next to them is sweating, a physical need to cool down. The conflict isn't really about them as people, it's about their competing very real needs in that moment.
And last but not least, we got to remember that conflict is rarely just a one-off thing. It's a process. Think about the ongoing tension you might have with a teenager in your life. It isn't just about one argument over their curfew, is it? No, it's this whole dynamic process of roles changing, of them growing into their own person, and of the parent-child relationship evolving over years.
Okay, so now that we have a much clearer picture of what conflict is, it's this connected process, driven by needs, we can actually start to change how we show up inside of it. This new understanding opens the door to a totally different approach.
Let's face it, most of us grew up in a really competitive world. From the time we were kids, we learned that in every game, there's a winner and a loser. It's in our movies, our sports, it's everywhere. So it's really no wonder that the minute an argument starts, our brain just flips a switch and goes into I have to prove I'm right mode. But just asking this one simple question can change the entire game. Does it have to be a zero-sum game? Does someone really have to lose for the other person to win? Just challenging that basic assumption is the first and honestly the most powerful step you can take toward a better outcome.
And this is the absolute key takeaway. We have to completely shift our goal. The point isn't to win the fight or to defeat the person across from us.
The real goal is to work together, to solve the problem that's sitting on the table between us. It's about moving from competition to collaboration.
Now, this all sounds great, but what does it actually look like in real life? Let's talk about the path forward, because let's be honest, reframing our entire mindset around something this big, well, it's a journey, and it takes real effort.
And I want to be really clear here. This is not as simple as just flipping a switch in your brain. Changing habits we've had our entire lives is tough work. Just like learning any new skill that's actually worth something, changing how we deal with conflict takes time, it takes patience, and it takes practice. But I promise you, the payoff is so worth it. But to start taking down that invisible wall that so often gets between us and a good resolution, we just have to start somewhere. And that journey, it really begins with one small step. Simply changing how we see conflict. Seeing it not as a threat to run from, but as a sign of life, and as an incredible opportunity to build something even stronger.
Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Remember, the very first step to reframing conflict is just understanding it better. And today, you've taken a huge step in that direction.